Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday afternoon. My name is Ed Troxel. I'm your creative consultant, Ed Troxel Creative, and I am here today with a special guest. So welcome for those joining. Before we get into the scope, we'll let people jump in and say hello. Feel free to comment right down below and be able to tap on the screen for those who are new. That shows hearts. But what I want to make sure you guys know is to be able to comment down below where you're tuning in from, because that's going to be key, not only for us to know, but also for you to find people in your area so that you can connect with them later and discover new things from them. So welcome to those joining. Basically, we are going to be doing an interview today with our guest, Midori here, and we are going to, it's her first scope today, so it's pretty exciting. If you guys have any trouble with audio, always let us know in the comments. For those new to Periscope, be sure to, on an Android, you're going to slide up. On an iPhone or iPad, you're going to slide to the right, and you'll be able to share this broadcast out, which I highly recommend doing. And you will also be able to see who else is in the chat, even if you touch the little guy in the corner. Hello from Southern California.
Hi, Trudy.
We are up in Northern California in the wine country. So welcome to those joining. So be sure to tap on the share button so that you can also see who else is around too. So then you can follow them by tapping on their name and seeing their profile. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it off and turn it over to my guest here and let you introduce yourself, and we'll kind of go from there.
Great. I am, first of all, so excited to be here, my first Periscope. But my name's Midori Verity. I am the relationship expert for the California Women's Conference. And I'm the co-host for the upcoming Women Network Virtual Summit, which is happening beginning of October. So if you go to Women Network Virtual Summit on Facebook, you'll see it. You can join. You can find out who's there. But super, super excited. It's going to be a dynamic event. But yeah, check it out.
And it's really cool too for those who are new. I do have on my website edtroxelcreative.com. That's Ed Troxell creative.com. I do have a page called Scope School. It's one that you want to check out. I have the latest post on there is this broadcast actually, and normally I don't do it right away. I usually wait till after. So you'll see that there's a spot waiting for the video to be posted later. But right now I do have it up there where I have a link to your website as well as to the virtual summit, as well as to a book that we might mention later.
Right.
So you guys can check that out over on edtroxelcreative.com for our Scope School session over there. So tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you've gotten into this, because you're doing quite a bit in terms of, you know, the work and doing the summit and all of this, and it's pretty awesome.
It is. And well, let me back up a little bit. The reason why I even became a relationship coach and wrote a book and did all this stuff was because when I turned middle age, I went through a bit of a midlife crisis. And anyway, I was trying to find myself. I had a company at that point, which I was absolutely 100% burnt out. I wanted out. I just couldn't stand my life. I just wanted change so enormously badly down to my core that I went through a little bit of a depression, and luckily came out of it and realized what I wanted to do. I found my passion. I thought about what I was really good at, and fast forward to today. Now I am a relationship coach. I help people with their marriages. I'm helping create healthier families, and I'm just, from where I was 5 years ago to where I am today, unbelievable shift in my happiness and just overall everything. Has nothing to do with money or financial. It has to do with who I want to be and living my truth and being super happy with what I'm doing.
And that's important too, you know, and for you guys watching, feel free to type in the comments any questions you might have throughout the broadcast. We'll try to keep Q&As towards the end, but if something pops up, feel free to do that. as well as if we miss your question, you can go over on my website at truxelcreative.com and hit Scope School. And on the post for today's episode, you can actually post down in the comments your question, and then that way we can get back to you and answer those afterwards too. You made a great point on that part too that you were talking about. It wasn't about the money and finances, because a lot of times I think people feel like that's their main issue.
Yes.
Whereas for you, that wasn't. It was the actual how you felt inside, and you personally. How did you kind of move past that and break free?
I think it's a huge point, the financial part. I think when you're starting a business, if you're starting only for the financial part of it, you're going to have a tough time in business. You're going to have a tough time emotionally, mentally, and really growing your business. But when you come from the point where it's your passion and you're excited and you're helping people, so you see something much bigger than yourself,
yes,
it makes it, the money comes.
Right.
Because you're more authentic and it's real and you're more driven for the long term.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a huge, and it took me a long time to realize that. When I was in my younger days, I just wanted to make sure we can make our house payment and pay for our, lunch and everything else. And luckily, as I matured and got a little bit older, that was one of the benefits. It's not always great getting older, but that was one of the benefits. And now I'm way happier than I was when I was 20 or 30.
Yeah.
But it's important that's a huge message, is to go after what you're passionate about, what excites you, what makes you want to jump out of bed every day, and keep going.
And I will tell you, you're hitting it right on the money for all of us, whether we're starting a business or we're just taking care of kids, and whatever our deal is, that's a huge part of it. A lot of people who are new to scoping haven't even scoped yet. They're just on here just watching, which is great. But we continuously, those of us in the scoper community, continue to encourage everyone to get on and scope about something that they're passionate about, and not just to scope just to be on it, but to really talk about it. And that's kind of what we were talking about yesterday in a previous scope, that you really have to have a passion. You really have to be engaged in what you're doing and want to do it, so that way your message gets clearly out there and you're transparent and people really can connect with you, because they know that you're being real and that you really are enjoying what you do. And I think that's a key to anything you do in life for that.
Especially in this day and age. I mean, everything, we're talking to this computer and everyone can see us. You can't be fake.
Right.
You can't hide behind a computer. You can't hide behind a phone. You're out there. That's just the way business is these days. And if you're trying to do something that your heart's not there, people are going to see it and they're going to know it, and it's going to reflect in your bottom line.
Oh, for sure. Yes. And that's a great message, guys, that I hope that you really caught that and can really take that to heart, because I can tell you from the stuff that I've even been doing myself, having that passion and that drive for it really changes the game for you and how you're going to do it. And it really attracts people that you want to come towards you, for that part of it.
Yeah. And so it's been a long journey. It's owning a business. I've owned a business with my husband for over 20 years. This is something completely different than what I was doing. And you just have to, it's been tough. It's been really, really hard. It's hard to start a business and make it successful and not get butchered along the way. And so it's that persistence, and you got to have the drive. If you're going to keep going, there's so much competition out there, and there's so many barriers that happen along the way, that if you are not persistent, if you are not really going after your passion and doing it intelligently, for one, you can't just keep on going and it's a piece of crap. You gotta know what you're doing to some point, and get help where you can. But that was a huge thing that has helped me. It's just staying persistent and staying, not losing my focus along the way. And so doing a lot of self-analysis and brain stuff and positive affirmations, those type of things just really changed my whole mindset, so that I felt like, holy crap, I can do this. I can do this, and I can help people, and I can make a difference. And it's awesome.
It is, and I know that you guys are probably going to have some questions here, so don't feel free to shout them out in the comment box. But I know one particularly that comes to mind, is how did you start that process of waking up and having that positive reinforcement? This is my focus. This is what I want to do. Is there any tips or tricks that you did that can just be applied to anybody, or was it just you knowing this is my daily goal, and I've just got to keep working at it, and that's where I'm headed?
It's all of that. It's really kind of seeing the big picture, but there's definitely tips that people can use in their own lives for whatever they want to do. The first thing was changing my attitude. I went through that depression, and after 6 months, I get so old. So I watched YouTube videos on changing my mindset, on being positive, on finding happiness. I read tons of books. I've always studied psychology and cognitive behavioral therapies. But those positive affirmations, it's something that anyone can do. It's so easy. What a positive affirmation is writing out positive thoughts that you want. Nice. I start with 10. And you write it out. I kept them in my bathroom mirror on the inside. Every morning, I would repeat them out loud. I would say them. And then at nighttime, when I was brushing my teeth, when I was done, that was my whole habit that I developed. And I would repeat them. And I did this for a long time. And then over time, it changes. But that was huge. And after they say 21 days, probably after about 30 days, I noticed a shift. I was more positive. I was happier. I looked at things differently, whereas before I might have been more critical.
Yeah.
And then after doing this, I became more positive, and things just seemed to be easier. It's almost like magic, but it's not.
Right.
And there's a science behind it, but it's that simple. It's that simple.
And I've heard of the 21-day challenge. A lot of people will say for anything, if you want to make it more of a habit, it's 21 days is the magical number. So I don't know if any of you guys have done that before, but 21 days is kind of the main figure that's out there. Thanks for those hearts. And if you have, feel free to comment in the comments down below, maybe what that was that you did for 21 days and how that helped you. Because I think that, especially right now, 2015, I've been telling people about, it's all about you, and it's about focusing on you, doing what's right for you, and just really fixing maybe things that need to be fixed that are directed to you specifically, not helping out, all these different areas where they don't apply to you. And so I think that's a great way to do that is, there's a comment, sorry, 21 days, it's the time we can take to adapt to change. Yeah, exactly. And so that's the big thing is, being able to take that and run with it and write down, pen and paper really does a lot for, especially in this digital age.
Handwriting it. Yes.
Yeah. Creating, vision boards and being able to
let's show mine. I do that. I do the vision boards.
Stick with us, guys. I'm going to pop this guy over, and we are going to show you a little bit of the back here. So hang tight. So I'm going to walk with you over here and show you. So vision boards do exist in real life, and they are actual paper.
Yeah. Goes back to what we did. It works, and seeing it every day in front of me, it's awesome because then you start to see, you almost can check off the things that you want that are on there, and you realize, wow, I am doing this, and it becomes more real and tangible. So it's very, very cool.
Yeah, and I think that's great to be able to do that. There was another scope I watched the other day that was talking about pen and paper and how it just really being able to write something down instead of typing it or texting it really does help, with the brain and just with making it real. And it helps, you remember and stay stronger with your goals. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I love the bathroom thing. I think a lot of people will do with the Post-its. They'll post a quote. I mean, I know I've had that before, certain quotes that really stand out to me. I'll post that in the bathroom and be able to wake up to that every morning and say, okay, yes, that's exactly what I want, and that's what I feel. It really does inspire you for that.
It's a good way to start your day.
Yeah.
Starting with positive. it's amazing the change that it made. I wish I had known this 20 years ago.
Right.
Because, boy, it's, when you're going through life, it's really easy to be negative, to be critical,
very easy,
to get down on yourself, to feel that you're not capable. I love this becoming new. You have such great points. And had someone told me the impact of staying positive, had someone shown me, or if I had read or learned how something so easy as writing out positive affirmations, writing out like we talked about, or doing a vision board, my God, it changed my life. Something so, it was free.
Right.
It was free, and it's really about your mindset. Let me just, real quick,
Yeah,
we're going to talk
please.
about it in a little bit. The Women Network Virtual Summit, we have an insane lineup of speakers, including this gentleman named Doug Bench. And he is all about neuroscience. He was an attorney. His mom got Alzheimer's, and he watched that whole horrible decline of that. And then he switched, and he became this. He's a coach, an expert on brain science,
Oh, wow.
and how to use these techniques, like what I'm talking about, to change your mindset and change how you are, to kind of push through that ceiling that we imaginarily have.
Yep.
To get through the financial ceiling, through the career ceiling, whatever it is. But he's going to be one of our featured guests, and I'm so excited that we got him. But yeah, so
I think that will be great. And actually, I love going into that, into the network part of it, because talking about the summit, because actually, for those who don't know, Kim Garce is a huge influence on social media. I mean, big time on Twitter, especially on scoping, constantly having scopes that are on such great topics. And she's actually one that will be at the summit as well, along with a huge lineup. I mean, I was looking at the lineup, and there's just some amazing people.
We just got Hope Solo. Hope Solo, the world champion soccer goalkeeper, and she is awesome. Her whole team is actually, meaning her business team, is very, very cool. I've been talking with her CEO, and they all kind of have the same culture. And I've noticed this with certain businesses. They have this culture, and usually when they have a cool culture, their businesses are very good. And Hope's passion is clear. So Hope is all about empowering women, and she's very gung-ho on that. And so she's coming on. She's going to be interviewed. I don't know if it'll be Michelle or I that does it yet. But it's going to be awesome, and we're so excited to have her, along with everyone else. There's really not one person that is going to be interviewed that is not insanely dynamic, insanely inspiring. We really kind of handpicked them.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't believe I get to be part of this.
It's going to be so awesome. Great. I mean, and I already got a few people to sign up for the summit as well.
Right.
You guys who are just tuned in, I have it listed on my website, edtroxelcreative.com. If you click on Scope School, you'll see the interview that we're doing right now live on there, and there's a link there for the summit that will show you all the speakers, which is great because it's a huge lineup. And it's really going to be amazing. And how is it? Let's talk a little bit more about how you have that, going for you, and kind of, more about when it is and around that area.
Okay. Well, becoming new, you can be there because it's virtual. It's all virtual. It's October 5th through October 9th. Each interview is really short because we know everyone's so darn busy. So if there's someone you really want to see, if you can just cut out 20 to 30 minutes, you'll know exactly when they are going to be talking. Many of them will be doing a Twitter party, so you can get on and ask them questions, and they'll respond during that time. And it's all really designed to inspire and motivate women and men too, because so much of this is cross promote. It works for both,
for sure,
females and males. And I'm noticing a lot of men are signing up. But let me just go into a little bit of detail about this.
Please.
Michelle Patterson is the CEO. She's the president. She's the founder of the Women Network. But she is also the president of California Women's Conference, which has been around for 30 years. It's the longest running women's conference in the United States, possibly
Wow.
the world. I know it's in the United States. And it used to be Maria Shriver was the host prior to Michelle. 3 years ago, Maria Shriver was the host. So Michelle's come on, and she is just this dynamo. I met her a while back at a conference, and I just gravitated towards her because she's so authentic. She's so energetic. She's so fun. But everything about Women Network is based on her.
Yeah.
And one thing that she saw, and I've seen in women in business and in groups that have women, is there's this thing with women. I don't know if I can cuss or not, but I am.
It's live and
we can be a little bit bitchy sometimes. And some women tend to push others down. And I don't know if it's because we feel like we need to climb up.
Sure.
But it's a problem. But when we come together and we work to support each other and we help each other rise up and be that cheerleader that is all in all of us, it's amazing what we can do. We move mountains. And that's what I'm seeing with Women Network. We have we really have no budget. Very, very little budget is changing. But I've put together this conference, this summit, and everyone is helping each other. And it's just so darn cool to see. And it doesn't take a lot of money. It takes us to share our skills.
Yes.
And helping one another. And when you start helping each other, it comes back to you.
Yes.
It comes back to you tenfold. And it's just to watch it and to be a part of it and to feel that support. Man, it's amazing.
And I love that you just pointed that out, because I am all about, as you know, teamwork and helping each other out and having people around you that are skilled at different things, because that's what we're good at, right? Is we pick the people that we want to hang out with and that we want to work with because we relate to them or they have a skill that maybe we don't have. And my biggest thing that I always say is teamwork equals success. It's about helping one another get to the next stage. You really can't get to the next stage without others' help, and others' support, because like I've told you guys before, I enjoy being a resource and being able to help others and know a little bit about everything so that I can help get someone in the right direction. There's no way I can possibly be good at every single thing, and honestly I don't want to be, because that would be a lot of work. But the fact is that I am a great resource that can connect with others so that then we can build a teamwork together, and be able to go from there. And that's the beauty of what you had said, is that it's not just about the budget, because if you're working with people that have different skills that you need and everyone can work together, then it doesn't need to have a budget, because you guys are working together and then everything's going to come back later for that.
Right. And it's amazing. I mean, Women Network just launched. We're now global.
Oh, wow.
We're in Africa.
Congrats.
And we're blowing up all over the United States. We launched in New York. We are about to launch in Pasadena. I believe I will be there for that launch. Irvine. We're going all over the place. Hawaii is coming up. I believe Oregon is also coming up. But it's awesome. And what's happening is these women are getting involved and they're seeing the energy and they're feeling that support, which sometimes for us women, it can be lonely.
Oh, for sure.
It can be very lonely, and we feel as though we're doing all this alone. So when you get that support and when you're part of this network of positive energy, it changes the world. And so that's what we're working on. We're working on this little organization that's blowing up. We are working with organizations around the world to change women's lives, to end human trafficking and abuses of women throughout the world. It's a huge, huge thing. But these women are coming together to do this, and it makes a big, fat difference. It's very empowering to see what's happening.
Well, yeah, and I can only imagine being a part of that. And I love that you said that it's not just, for the conference, it's not just about women signing up, that some men are too. And, that's the thing I like to point out, you guys, is that you should be wanting to test the waters and to branch out, and if it's allowed, which it obviously is, because some guys are signing up for it, you should be signing up for it to be able to gain that knowledge and different perspective. because that's only going to help further what you're trying to do and to know your different resources. So I'm huge about that, is being able to connect with others, even if it's a little bit outside your scope, because that way you can work on what maybe area you need to go to, or be just open to a new territory.
Right.
You know, because that's a big one. Is just being open to something new. You know, just like with Periscope, people are on here, they're starting to discover, it's starting to get a little bit noisier on here in terms of just people signing up, but there's still so much more that can be done on here, and this is just like the starting point, you know, for it, and it helps encourage you to do different things, you know, like this live interview, you know. I haven't seen, I know that some probably are doing it out there, but I personally haven't seen an actual interview like we're doing directly on Periscope. I'm sure there's tons of people out there doing that, and I haven't followed them yet, but just saying that we're trying something new, you know, at the beginning of this, tried the little video intro, something that, you know, obviously can't be perfect the way the Periscope's laid out, but at least it's something different that, you know, it kind of sparks the interest and gets you going, and be able to adapt to change, you know, and be able to take that new perspective when it's there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't even really know what Periscope was a month ago. And then Ed contacted me, started asking me questions, and seeing if I wanted to be involved with it. And of course I said yes. And then I got on and I saw that you can interact with people and they give us hearts. And what could be better than that? So I love this new platform. I think it's very, very cool.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And for those who are new, if you're wondering why it's only we're shooting in portrait mode, because as you know, when you're shooting video, you should be rotating it to be landscape, so that way it's a perfect video. So it's not that we don't know how to, it's that Periscope only has it right now in portrait mode. So that's the reason why you're seeing it, and that's why it's kind of very tight on the crop there, is because they don't allow it yet. Hopefully it will come to be in landscape mode, because then you can get a bunch of background and more people involved, which I think then will really take off, and you know, be able to interview multiple people at once and really just get a digital brainstorming session with online and offline together.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I think we need to do a little shout out to Periscope.
Yes.
To get this. So this is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Becoming New. Also, how did you find us, if you don't mind me asking? I always like to find out how people found us, because, you know, we were shouting out on social media platforms, and I know I'm part of a group called 1K One Day, and I know you're through the network and a bunch of other groups as well. The update's coming soon. Perfect. So it's just fun, you know, to be able to collaborate with others and be able to jump around to different social sites and different social groups as well, to really connect with and to be able to discover new things. Excellent. Becoming New, 1K One Day. All right, cool. Hashtag rich friends, right? That's one of our little hashtags that we use. It's through our leader, I will say, our group leader, Nicole. She's amazing. She is awesome on scopes, and she's the one that I was telling you about earlier that had started with scoping not too long ago, and she's just blowing it up, and she quit her job actually on scope, live with all of us watching, and now she's helping all of us, you know, get to the next stage in our work and in our day-to-day jobs, so that way we can, you know, do something that we are passionate about and love. So it's really awesome to see. And in fact, now that I'm saying that, I'm probably going to make sure that she knows about the summit. If she didn't see the tweet, I'll have to tweet her the summit. Yeah, I would love
to connect with her and to see. But I really encourage you, just go look at the website, which you can find on Ed Troxell's website, but the Women Network Virtual Summit, and see the lineup. It's amazing, and it's free. It's free, and you don't have to change your clothes. You can wear your pajamas. You can watch it naked. Doesn't matter. You don't need shoes. You don't need makeup. It's so easy. But it's amazing. And we have this woman, just real quick, Dr. Jackie Freiberg, who has come on, and she is going to talk about the she economy. And what that is she talks about the power of women. And these businesses, this is why so many men are getting involved, because they realize they need to pay attention to women, because we're the ones with the pocketbook, we're the ones who spend. And so that's one of the big things. The wine industry has really caught on to that recently, because they realize women are the ones drinking wine. In fact, I have some in my closet over here. And so it's really important. So it's not just about supporting women, it's about being aware that we're a huge part of growing other people's businesses, because we spend the money.
For sure.
So Jackie is going to talk all about that. She really kind of understands it, and she has a lot of statistics that show that. And then one other thing real quick, Richard Branson, he just talking about women, the cool thing about when you have a woman who finds success, they give back, and they tend to support. You'll see women who all of a sudden go from nothing to having some financial means. They give it back to their family, meaning that they will make sure their children get educated. So where I'm going with Richard Branson is, I watched him on some video, some interview with him, and he was talking about this woman who came up to him, I believe it was in Africa, and she ran up to him and she said, hey, aren't you the guy who gives people money to help them? That's what it took. And he turned around and he said, yes, tell me what you're talking about. Tell me what you're looking for. And she wanted $500 to buy a sewing machine.
Oh, wow.
I believe her husband had passed away, and that's a big issue in a lot of third world countries. When you are a widow, it can be very, very difficult for so many reasons, which I won't go into now. But, so anyway, he said, yes, I will get that for you. So he did, and it changed her whole life. She started a business, she supported her children, and it changed everything. And then she gave back within her own community, because she had to hire people.
Right.
So
it's a great story, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
And Richard Branson, I know he has a foundation that helps women too. I wish I could remember the name, but
we'll look it up.
Search.
And I'll post it on the website. Going back to that one question earlier, it's edtroxelcreative.com. Click on Scope School, and you can find my last name spelling if you slide to the right or up on an Android, and it will be right there.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great, and we'll look that up and add it to that post so that you guys can clearly see that too, because I'm all about promoting that and things that are going to help everyone out, you know.
Right.
And one last thing before we finish up here. What about this little side project here?
Side project. Secrets to a Kick-Ass Marriage. This was my passion. This is what I'm good at. My husband and I have been together for almost 30 years. Had a business for over 20 years together. Raised 2 boys, and when I was trying, in the darkness of my life, I was thinking, what am I really good at? That's what it is. I am good at marriage and relationships, and I get it because I've been through it all. And so, anyway, I wrote this book. It's a very simple book, but it gives a lot of tips from what I've read, from what I've been through. Easy read, fun read, but important read for anyone in a relationship, anyone starting a relationship, but especially for those who are kind of going through that period where they're disconnecting. In fact, I'll give this book away for free today. If someone is interested in it, go ahead and go to Ed's site, and you can go to my website from there.
Yeah.
And just enter in your email address, and yes, you may take a screenshot.
There you go.
And I am happy to send this to you, because again, I think it's really important to stay aware of our relationship, make it a priority, and it's easy when we're all so darn busy to remember to stay focused on the relationship.
Yeah, I agree. And if you need her website, like I said, I'll have it on my Scope School. It's a direct link, so you can just click it, and it will bring it right over to her website. And I think it's awesome. And I haven't read the book yet, but I've been looking at it a lot, and I'm gonna just take a dive over and say, I guarantee that there's tips in there that can apply to anyone, including those of us who are single, in any of our relationships. Because the common theme that I find with a lot of people, and we've talked about this before, in terms of relationship and guidance and things like that for others, is that I find it a common thing, I'm single and I help out with all my friends and their and families and things like that with just being able to listen and be able to provide feedback and things like that on any of their relationships. And so just because it says marriage on there, I'm going to say, personally that I probably will still be able to pick up quite a few tips and tricks that I can apply to any of my relationships, friends, romantic, whatever, from there.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, yes, exactly. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Like I said, you can find all the recap on my website, edtroxelcreative.com. Click on Scope School. You'll be able to click on the link taking you over to her site, where you can also see the book and purchase that if you like. And we hope, and the network will be on there as well. We hope you had a great day. I know it's lunchtime, so some of you might be, underneath the desk or something else at the work trying to tune in. For those catching the replay, be sure to also ask any questions on my website there, because that way we can then answer them over there. Since you're watching the replay, you won't be able to ask them right here. You can still give hearts though, interestingly enough. So if you ever watch a replay of someone's video, you can still tap on it and give them hearts. So
interesting.
4 p.m. there. Yep. So it's about a little after 1 our time. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for being a part of this and being able to carve out some time for us.
Of course.
And we hope you guys have a great day, okay? Take care.